Welcome to CARE Conversations with Clarity Financial Solutions, where through education, we move you from confusion to clarity on topics touching retirement. Join us as we learn and grow from others' experience on entering to this next phase of life with peace of mind and conviction that you have a team to help you, educate you, and let you know your unique retirement is upon you. So it's time to take a deep inhale, a slow exhale, and walk into this next phase of life, confident and with clarity. Welcome to another episode of CARE Conversations with Clarity. I'm Amanda Stilwell, founder and financial advisor here. And this season, we are talking to people like Mr. Jack Withey, who I have had the blessing of getting to retire, or what we like to call move from work to life after work. So we are going to just chat about all things, right? When you're working and maybe frightened a little bit about that next phase of life. Are all things in order? And then all these new things that come into your life that you probably have never thought about before. Medicare, Social Security, required minimum distributions, long-term care, and moving from accumulation to distribution. So saving versus spending feels different.
Oh, yeah.
Would you say?
Different. Yeah.
So welcome, Jack. Thank you for agreeing to talk to.
Very glad to be here, and hopefully this helps people now or 50 years from now or so.
That's right. And that's the goal, is ultimately just to help people understand that there is emotion to this job, this next phase, which is why I call this CARE Conversations, because money is emotional, right? When you're saving, you're contributing to that account, and you're 25, 35, 45 years old, the balance doesn't mean as much, right?
Right. And it's kind of automatic, at least for me. It's just every month just contributing, and it's just kind of automatic. And then all of a sudden that changes. So that was a big step. Yeah, definitely.
Well, tell us what you did. What did you do during your working years?
So
the many of them, 45 of them.
45 years. Yeah. Graduated from Clemson, electrical engineer. And I worked for a company called J.E. Serene here in Greenville, and, never really thought I would stay with one company my whole career, but I did. It was bought a few times, ended up being Jacobs Engineering, but yeah, just worked the same, I moved up the ladder, but same company, same job for 45 years and really enjoyed it. So that was one reason I didn't really go off anywhere else. So I really enjoyed it and started young investing, they had a retirement plan, which they terminated, which happens to a lot of companies, I think.
Definitely.
Now, and switched to a 401k, and I didn't really understand what that was. So started reading up on that and reading up on different companies, investments. And my wife knows I had stacks of money magazines in the attic. I think it ended up being there, but just reading and did it myself, just basically did it myself for 45 years, just investing. So
you mean your company didn't send people in to give you advice on what?
Not really. We had a few lunch and learns from different, I remember one advisor coming in and talk about just money management, and then it was just a quick lunch and learn. And if you wanted more info, you could go talk to them or something. But that was probably 15 years ago or something. So it was really no real education. I guess you could go to our 401k companies. They would have some stuff online, but early on, before computers, it was kind of all self-taught. And
and you took the initiative to do some of that.
Yeah, it did that. Too. Yeah, early on, and part of my, I guess, because I did it for 45 years, and my wife Louise just kind of was hanging along with me, and then sure, whatever sounds good. So I was kind of doing all this on my own, but as I got closer to retiring, I kind of realized that, if I continued to do it on my own and something happened to me, then, it would be all on her shoulders at that point. And I didn't want to do that to her. So, and also for me, I had a lot of questions and stuff as well. So, but yeah, 45 years of work and,
a lot of saving. You did a very good job saving.
Thank you. And that's one thing for anybody listening to, start early if you can.
Right.
And just whatever you can do. And as the market goes up and down, you kind of teach yourself, when it's down, you're actually buying more.
That's
It's actually a good thing. So yeah, you kind of train your mind to think the opposite, that, when things look bad, you're actually buying more. So it's kind of on automatic pilot. You could pick from different mutual funds or whatever in the 401k, but I had branched out a little bit on my own and did some my own, accounts with Charles Schwab and stuff, taxable accounts. And probably one regret is I didn't do, the Roth came along later in my career, and it would have been nice if I did more Roth stuff, but
no, we're doing it now.
But now you're showing me the way, sure. Right. Yeah.
We're doing it now, and we're talking about the consequences too, like the Medicare premium increase and all those things. But so you, if I recall correctly, when we did some rollovers, we had to know the cost basis. So you had speaking of doing your own investing, you had records of your purchases of different stocks back to what year?
Yeah, from the very first 1980. So I used Quicken software, and my wife Louise would know that we'd get the statements in the mail, and every once in a while I'd sit by my computer and I enter in this month we bought 3 shares at this price, and I would just enter it in there, and then of course it would track, with the graphs and everything, how you're doing each year. And especially for I did it for the 401k stuff as well, but for my own stocks, when I did that, and when I did sell, which wasn't too often, but when I did sell, I could go back and pick which shares I wanted to sell and try to do that. So I had all that kind of in my Quicken thing. So when we were kind of getting all this organized and everything, I could kind of print out each stock, and I bought this date. It was dividend.
Yeah,
and that.
It was awesome.
It was a lot of, it went way back on some of them. So, I was able to.
You would allow to say you're a very good record keeper.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Or your Quicken is.
Yeah. I think part of, maybe my engineering brain or something, the numbers, math and numbers and everything all work better in my head. So definitely, kind of track that. And so it did hopefully make it easier for the conversion and stuff like that. So,
well, so when you've been doing all of this for so long, doing it yourself, even with just learning, like you said, you reading stacks of magazines, what was your thought process of, I know you said if something were to happen to you, but what other things were you thinking of moving from, okay, I'm going to manage all my stuff to, I'm going to hand it over to a professional?
Yeah. So it started, I guess, last year. I'm 67 now, and my wife Louise 65. So she's 2 years younger than me. So I was wanting to retire, but I knew, medical insurance wise that I was going to have to cover her till 65, till she could get on Medicare. So that was one concern. She turned 65 this month, and you'd shown me the path where we could retire actually earlier. So it was, if you've already helped me so much there. So a few months and a couple trips already. So, but yeah, last year I was just kind of thinking my way through all the stuff I needed to do. And it's not just the money, but money was part of it. Here I got this 401k and my stock stuff. And
what do I do now?
Yeah. And I started reading, and looking online at, would you take the taxable money first, or pre-tax money out first, or do I just convert it all to dividend stocks and just live off dividends, or do I, and so I almost became paralyzed, I guess, with what's the right move. And that's the way my brain works, is like, I don't want to make a mistake, and what's the right move. And then, so I got to get on Medicare, and this is A, B, C, D, F, G, and all these different letters. And what the heck is all that? And Medicare.
I mean, you researched it.
Medicare. So I watched some videos on that and tried to understand that. But I became, I would guess, more and more paralyzed about making the wrong move. And I know with Medicare, if you could get penalized if you do something wrong. And so I didn't want that to happen. So I started, I kind of figured I was doing this all automatically. And now, you can't just flip the switch, and
that's right.
When you're working and then retired, you just flip a switch. So you got to do some work on it. And so that's when I kind of started seeking out some advice.
And going to seminars, which is how I met you.
So some seminars, I remember the day, I think it was maybe in April last year in Traveler's Rest, we went to your seminar, and I remember because it's a little far from our house, but I can't remember how I found the topic. It must have been online, something that this was going to be there. But the topics you were going to talk about, taxes in retirement, and how to, based on your income, you can take some excess money and move it to Roth without paying excess taxes. And then you start in some discussion on Medicare and everything else. So there's a lot more to retiring than just money. And so this ought to be a good seminar to go to. So we went, took off work a little early, and we drove up there, and I remember it was like thundering and lightning. It's like the gods were telling me something, I don't know, but we went to your seminar, and that was, to me, was actually, even to today, that's one of the best ones I've been to, because you took, some of them are very quick and everything, and just talk over and it goes so fast, but you took the time to kind of explain some things and did some overhead stuff and
answer questions and then explain how it fits together. Right. That's the goal. I remember your wife's face. She kept going, anytime I was talking about taxes. Because y'all were sitting like up in the front. It was funny. So taxes and retirement must have been something that you were considering.
Yeah, definitely. Because I did not have really a Roth. We started one only like a year before I retired. So it was really didn't have a Roth. And that was probably one of my regrets, maybe, that I didn't think about that earlier. But so I have most of my money in 401k, and then some in my own stock plan, which is tax consequences with the capital gains and things. So that was definitely a concern. And then how to medical coverage for her. And then the other thing was, I was feeling comfortable that, even though I was paralyzed, I was feeling comfortable that I could probably wing it and do something, and it would probably be okay. But if anything happened to me in retirement, she couldn't wing it at all, my wife. So I wanted to set up something that would be more automatic, almost like a paycheck, more automatic, that would be easy for her and for me as well. Actually, it's, and so that was one of my thoughts, and also with the advisors that we saw and everything, if something did happen to me, I wanted somebody that she could talk to and not feel overwhelmed, that, like you said, with her face on.
So it's a lie. It's like another language.
Yeah. And you explain things very well. So I wanted somebody that she could feel comfortable with as well. But that turned out to be, really a lucky thing for me to go to that
to drive through that
rainstorm and everything to go to that. And so, yeah, very, very blessed from that point to when we left. And I said, what do you think? And she said, yeah, I like her. And so I said, yeah, I really do too. And so, yeah, we set up an appointment, and then we did a number of appointments, and I don't know how many times we met now, but we've progressed from last April all the way to this April now. And
well, you go, like, it's very emotional. I think when you're working with the same people for a very long time, you're getting a paycheck that's regular, you know where it's coming from, you know what it's going to be. And then shifting from, okay, Social Security, I got to start that.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting endeavor, isn't it?
Oh gosh. Yeah.
You had fun with that.
Yeah. It was easier for me, but for Louise,
because she's taking half of yours.
Right. Well, she worked, but not enough to get the full, 40 credits.
40 quarters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she had to she's going to get on half of mine. And we haven't started that for her yet, but we did have to sign her up to get Medicare. And so we tried to do that online, and they wouldn't let you do that. So we had to go in person to the office and went through and waited and finally talked to somebody. So, well, he took information down and says, well, you got to do a phone interview. Mm-hmm. Said, okay. So the next available one was March. This was like 1st of February or something, mm-hmm. But so it's kind of mid-March, I guess, when we did that. And they asked like 3 questions, real kind of goofy questions, and said, okay, and that was it. So yeah, it was really, that's the way the government works. But yeah, but it was much more involved to get her set up. So, and even for me, get through all the paperwork, online stuff with Medicare and Social Security and some of the other stuff too, mm-hmm. long-term care and other things that you got to think about as well.
Yeah. So wait a minute. I haven't heard you say rate of return one time, but you're sitting here in a financial advisor's office. Yeah. Isn't that what we're supposed to talk about? It's rate of return, rate of return.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because, as with my Quicken, typing everything in, I'm watching these graphs and everything, and this month's good, this month wasn't so good, but that's okay. And then so I'm watching all this stuff, and then so the last couple of weeks with this tariff stuff, the market's like dropping like crazy. And I remember during COVID, I was like, God, what do I do? What do I do? It was like dropping like a rock, and so I was much more panicky as I got closer to retiring about the money, but this tariff stuff, now that I am retired, this tariff stuff going up and down and everything, and I've not even looked at it.
Yay! So well, and it's because we have an income plan. We've got some annuities in there to reinsure some of your money. So we did that as like bond alternatives for growth. So we have a growth annuity in your plan. We have an income annuity in your plan, several too.
Right.
So I call it going from paychecks to playchecks.
Yeah, that's good word for it. But
and because you're where your money's coming from, right. And the mindset's going to do what it's going to do.
Much more relaxed now. Louise will tell that too. That now that I'm retired, I'm not worried about it now, and mm-hmm. So it was
that's wonderful.
A godsend that we did this, because otherwise I would have been panicking right now. I was trying to do it all myself, probably trying to figure out what.
Some of your emails have been my absolute favorite, because you talk about, you're like you'll ask a question, then I'll say an answer, and you're just like, this is so much more complicated than I thought. Just retiring,
Yeah, it was definitely eye opening. It was much more things that I didn't realize or understand. Mm-hmm. Definitely, even though you did all the research, and definitely there's stuff I still didn't know, and so yeah, it was very fortunate between you and Sarah as well. Very helpful, as well, keeping me on track and
mm-hmm.
and stuff. So and yeah, very good at getting right back with any questions I have, and I've had a lot. I brought a few more today. So yeah, I still. Because I think about it, but not as worried about it for sure now. I just kind of.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think that because you have someone you can just, you have someone that's going to advocate for you, or you can call and ask, like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
That helps you.
That definitely helps, because otherwise I'd be on the computer trying to figure it out myself. And computer's nice. I mean, you can find a lot of information there, but not all of it's accurate. And there's especially with finance or money and things, there's so many different opinions. And that's partially what paralyzed me, is you need to go this way. Now you need to do it this way. And so it was very, very like, paralyzing to me that, hey, this looks good, but this other guy says, no, don't do it that way. Do it this way.
So which one's right? Who do I believe? I will do it.
So it's very fortunate to get some help. And I think that's what, a lot of the things I read is that, even though you might be okay with money, it'd still be good to get an opinion from an advisor. And that would be something I would say to everybody, that, find somebody you're comfortable with, an advisor. And I think that's, very, at least for me anyway, very helpful making this transition.
Yeah. So do you remember when we looked at basically your income plan on the computer through a planning software, and it showed you all the things, where your money was going to be coming from, how much you're anticipated to have as a legacy? Did that kind of...
Yeah, I like that thought. I was after I put my quicken to shame, that...
I like that.
Yeah, I know you spent a lot of time with that, with a bunch of different options and ways to go with that thing. So it was, it was eye opening, and it was, and it was still some decisions that, which way to go and everything. But you were very good at, it's kind of saying there's some advantages or disadvantages, and kind of different.
Sure.
Not every. My way is not the same for everybody.
That's right. And that's one of the things, another, one of my clients said in one of these interviews, is that the risk assessment and really understanding your family's goals and objectives, and like, what is your risk tolerance? What do you want to feel like in retirement?
Right.
It's important. It's not just about the balance.
Yeah, right. And some people have more, I guess, would be more of a risk taker, and some people maybe not as much, wants to be very safe or something. So it's, I guess I'm kind of in between. You're
definitely a moderate, for sure. And you understand the stock market. And so, like you said at the very beginning, when market's down, that's when you buy.
Yeah. Yeah. So even though I'm 67, you kind of figure, I don't know how long I'll live. And that's part of this whole thing, is trying to, you kind of gamble a little bit. You take Social Security now, you wait or whatever. And I tried another spreadsheet to figure that out. But yeah, it's you kind of figure, well, if I live 20 more years, that's 20 more years of investing, really, for part of it, at least. And some buckets are, the bucket that I'm going to be using now, and some, later down the road, it can still invest a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, because where your income is coming from.
Yeah.
Right on through. I mean, when you first came to me and you had all your income, and then your income after tax, then your expenses, what you were saving, and then at retirement, at Social Security, gross versus net. I mean, it was very, very well thought out. But the thing you didn't have was, how am I going to get?
Yeah, I didn't know how to get from working to not working. Yeah,
so
that step, that was paralyzing for me. Yeah, to make that jump. And
how did that feel? How did that feel when you actually decided, because you were going to wait till this month, but you retired
January. Yeah. So
when you finally made the decision.
The first few weeks of January was very weird, because I should be at work or something. So I drive by the office, and here's these cars sitting there. I'm not there. And so it's kind of like I was just on vacation, but I knew I wasn't going back, and I knew I was not going to get another paycheck from them. So the first Social Security one came in February, even though I retired in January. The very first one they give you is February. So that's like 6 weeks away. And so, yeah, we got to make it for 6 weeks. But then you show me, no, we'll just pull a little bit out, cover you for January. And then the annuity started. And now, very comfortable. The annuity comes kind of at the beginning of the month, and Social Security mid-month. And it's kind of like I'm still getting paychecks, and
everything's working just like it should.
Yep. So, yeah. And so it did have a little bit of money set off to trips and some money planned. We got some housework that we want to do. And, and so we had some things that we talked about to kind of plan for our retirement, planning, and actually became very comfortable in still getting up early like I normally do. And still even to today, I can't, the sun's up. I got to get up. I got to do something. So haven't quite figured that out yet, but still it's nice to get up and make your own decision what you're going to do that day.
And today, instead of going to work, you went where to get what little person?
Yeah, grandson. So yeah, twins, grandson, granddaughter. Yeah, they normally go to school together, but on Mondays, my granddaughter goes to a therapy class for speech. Which is a different place. And my daughter normally does not work on Mondays. So she usually takes one of them, and her husband takes one. But, today, last couple of weeks, she was working. So, excuse me. So we filled in. Yeah, I had to get up early, be at their house by 7. Try to figure out the car seat for my grandson, which is, try to get these buckles buckled and everything, get them going. But we took my daughter's car and drove him to school, which was kind of nice to be able to take him to school and watch him with his kids and friends and stuff. So that's also nice that we can do stuff like that.
Freedom. Yeah.
And so, yeah,
I think you're going to settle into retirement very nicely.
Yeah. We're starting to, planting some flowers, working outside some. So I haven't really.
But you said you're planting flowers during the day.
During the day, and not on weekends, trying to do it with a work schedule or something. So yeah, be able to, on nice days, be able to go out or just take a walk or something. So it's
whatever you want.
Very, very nice to be able to do that. And we've, since my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, which is my wife's twin sister, they're also retired. So we're doing a lot of stuff with them as well. Get to do that during the week. And so, yeah, definitely enjoying that part of it. And I'm starting to settle in now. And I don't worry about it. I did maybe, toward the end of the year, is this really going to work? And
you actually emailed us and said all of the checks have come in. Like from all their different.
Yeah. I was like, gosh, finally. Yeah. So yeah,
they're all here.
We're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it was that part of it was a lot of, some forms and paperwork. Yeah. And I know between you and Sarah, I did a lot of stuff that I didn't see happen for me and for Louise as well. Setting up both of us. So since we're different ages, you can't do them at the same time. So it's been very, very fortunate for that part of it, because that's some of that paperwork stuff's
it's not easy. But
I brought one today. I can't understand. So,
well, we appreciate your trusting us for sure with your retirement.
Yeah, it was. I'm very happy, fortunate. I think that we've crossed paths during the thunderstorm and beyond, that we actually came to meet you and talk with you and so yeah, very, very happy and
hopefully you're just have more peace of mind, right?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely not thinking about it like I did last year. So getting up well, I thought it was, we're going to retire in April this year. So I got about a year to figure all this out. But when I think your second or third meeting with the grass and everything, you can retire now. And
I think your wife was happy too.
Yeah, she was happy with that. And I was like, really? But, so yeah, January, I made it January 3rd. I started on January 2nd, 1980. Mm-hmm. So I made it through January 2nd of 2025 and then retired on the 3rd. So, which was a Friday. So yeah. So yeah, very, very happy to turn the page and try
next chapter, right?
Trying some new stuff. So yeah.
So what would you tell, last question, what would you tell people who are after work creating spreadsheet upon spreadsheet upon spreadsheet to show that they can do it? I mean, obviously, but like that fear, if I can just see it in numbers, then I'll be okay. But then you weren't.
Yeah.
You weren't.
Yeah. So I thought, because I did this for 45 years, I said, well, I'll just move off into retirement and yeah, I got this covered. The part that bothered me the most was my wife, I guess, not being a financial geek like me or wannabe, a financial wannabe. So I just thought, for her, that, she's going to be lost with this. And so I thought, well, and then as I started researching it and everything, I became lost as well. So I just don't know what to do. So I would say for anybody kind of heading down this path, it's always good to talk to somebody who makes a career out of this. They know some things that you won't know and things that I didn't know and actually made it an easier transition, I think, for me to be able to, than what I would have done on my own. I can't imagine like today, me doing it on my own, that I would be as relaxed as I am now. That's wonderful. So, and especially with the markets, going up and down and everything. I'd be at my computer right now, probably watching the graphs and everything. So. But
well, you don't need to do that.
Don't have to do that. I hadn't really even crossed my mind. I probably will look. I do get stuff still in the mail
and you will.
And so I'll probably.
But your lifestyle is covered. Where your expenses are going to be paid for. And ultimately, what I always say is during up times in the market, we celebrate. During choppy times, we communicate, right? So that's ultimately the goal. It's just always reach out when you're nervous instead of hanging out on the computer looking at graphs. Yeah.
So one of the thoughts I had was, well, if I found you like 5 years ago, what would have happened? Where would I be now? What would have happened? So I just found you last year and definitely made my life easier going into retiring. But I said, well, if I found you maybe 5 years or 10 years ago, maybe I would have retired 5 years ago.
I hope you would have, but oh well. Yeah. Water under the bridge.
Yeah, that's right. So, well, we're very happy.
Good.
Yeah, very happy. And yeah, hopefully for anybody listening or watch this 50 years from now or something, that maybe that'll help.
I think so. I think so. Well, I appreciate you and I appreciate your wife and your family trusting us with your retirement. And I can't wait to hear all the cool things you're doing instead of going to work.
Yeah, and I do appreciate your company. When I was first thinking about this, is like it's money, I'm thinking about money, but your company, it's much more than that. So it's Medicare, it's long-term care, it's thinking about estate planning, it's thinking about there's all kinds of things to think about that maybe I didn't really think about myself.
Well, no one does. When you're saving, you're just looking at the number.
Right.
Not
do I have enough to retire? And then taking this next step and thinking about the other pieces that go with it and everything. And it was And that's the one thing we really do like about your company. It's not just about the financial money side of it, but it's the whole picture. So
that's right.
So yeah,
I think we want to put you on a commercial.
Anybody wants to, if they want to talk to you and want any more advice from me, I can throw it out there. But
it's funny because some advisors get really nervous when someone shows up with a spreadsheet as detailed as yours. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, you were excited about it. We're kind of the same way.
We are. We think the same way. So, well, thank you for your time today, and
very happy to do this. And hopefully, maybe see from my smiling, it'll help some people make a decision as well to come see you or any advisor, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Wherever you are, to find someone who you can trust, you enjoy visiting with, who explains things that you can understand. Ultimately, that's the goal.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So
awesome.
Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So yeah,
we'll see what
many years of this.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you next time on Care Conversations with Clarity. Join our Clarity Financial Solutions family, where through education and others' experience, we empower you to make retirement choices with confidence. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook, or head on over to our website and sign up for our newsletter. If you'd like to further engage with us, please don't hesitate. Just reach out, 864-987-8729. See you next time on Care Conversations with Clarity.